Sadly, we are all going to have conflicts with people in our lives, and it'd be good to help us think about those in two categories. The first category of conflict you're going to have with people is a lot like the game that people are going to watch this afternoon. There are two opposing teams, and there are two clearly defined end zones, and there are lines that are clearly defined, and everyone can see clearly that there are two opposing views here, two opposing teams, and only the person with a really bad seat in the stadium can't perceive that. Now, there's the second category, and I would suggest that's probably most of the problems and conflicts we have with people, and those aren't like that first category. This category is where people think they know where the end zones are. The lines, they're very blurry if there's even a claim that there are lines at all, and there's obviously a conflict, but the conflict is not really based in clarity about the facts. There are a lot of people saying this is the fact and that's the fact, but actually it's just a lot of claims that aren't factual. That's the kinds of misunderstandings that we often deal with. Now, let me suggest that there are 5 reasons, at least, that we have these kinds of misunderstandings. Number 1, human beings, we have a penchant for power struggles. Have you noticed that? People like to know who's in charge. They like to know where they are in the pecking order. They have a lot of conflicts with people because someone they think is in a position they don't deserve to be in. And so people start throwing accusations around, and they may not be factual, but a lot of people rally around those claims. And we get a lot of interpersonal conflict, and it's really not founded in truth or in objective truth. It's just what people feel about each other, and it causes struggles, and we get involved in those one way or another, and it's all based on really pride. People are concerned about power struggles. There's another reason that I think we have a lot of problems that really are based on misunderstandings, and that is that they're prone to gossip. Have you noticed that one? They like to be hypercritical about other people. And sadly, this one's also rooted in pride because we like to tear other people down. It makes us feel better about ourselves, or we like to tear other people down to people that we'd like them to see us as better than the people that we're tearing down. But nevertheless, there's a lot of things said about other people, and they aren't true, or at least they're blown out of proportion, and people don't quite understand that the things that I'm saying, if I happen to be saying them, are not actually true, but they're just a magnification of maybe something that's not even seen accurately. But we have a lot of teams being drawn up based on non-factual accusations that are rooted in a hypercritical spirit, the gossip. Thirdly, you hear a lot of this today. There's a lot of misunderstandings in our relationships because people, they say they don't like to be disrespected. Have you heard that one? You're not respecting me. And there's kind of a hypersensitivity to the fact that you're not treating me the way I think I deserve to be treated. And we like to kind of have this sensitivity to you should treat me the way I think I ought to be treated. And that, frankly, is rooted in pride as well, because I don't even really objectively think I'm as great as I'd like people to think I am. And so we want them to treat us in a particular way. When they don't, if they don't meet our expectations, we get really angry, and we start saying things in response to that. And there's all kinds of misunderstandings and teams being drawn up when it comes to those kinds of dust-ups in our relationships. Fourthly, we live in a world that is filled with unanticipated circumstances. Things happen in life, and we don't know that they were going to happen. And because our world is, at least from our perspective, unpredictable, we plan things or say things, and circumstances change, or situations that are unavoidable make what we said impossible. And so people get mad at us because we don't meet their expectations, and they can point at what we said, and they start casting aspersions at us because, we said we would, and then we didn't. And that kind of misunderstanding can create all kinds of character accusations that cause a lot of trouble, and a lot of teams get formed there, not based on truth, but based on hurt feelings. Lastly, and I wrote a book on this not long ago, there's a lot of problems in relationships based on something called envy. And that's all comes down to the fact that the world just isn't objectively fair. And really, you can look at God in that regard because he's not dishing out brains or beauty or skills or brawn. He doesn't do that equally. So people look around and they go, well, that person's better off than I am, or they have more stuff than I do, or they're smarter than I am, whatever it might be. And all of this resentment builds up, and we start saying things about people. And sometimes it leads to a power struggle, but oftentimes it's just resentment. And all of that creates a lot of teams and factions where people are mad at each other. And at the end, it really isn't based on something factual. It's not they're a bad person because they're better off than I am. It's just a lot of people getting bent out of shape over things that aren't necessarily true.